Houston has rocketed up to number 2 in the rankings, see what I did there, and right now look like the biggest threat to Golden State. They haven't knocked the Bucks out of the top spot, at least not yet. 1. Bucks 51-17, last week. No. 1. The defense has slipped since the All-Star break, 110.1 net rating, 16th in the league, but the Bucks are still 8-3 in that stretch because their offense has gotten even better. Everyone in Milwaukee is looking ahead. The Bucks in the Giannis Antetokounmpo era have never won a playoff series. That will change in the first round this year. But the second round, on paper this team is a contender, but will Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe perform on the biggest stages? Good benchmark Sunday versus Philly. 2 Rockets, 42-25, LW6. Winners of 9 in a row, the Rockets look like the second best team in the NBA again. A team that may be a threat to the Warriors as much as anyone. Not just because Chris Paul is playing well, although he is playing closer to last year's version, or because Clint Capella is healthy and running the floor hard again, but because they are defending well for the first time this season. Since the All-Star break, Houston has a defensive net rating of 106.4, 7th best in the NBA, better than Utah in that stretch. Can they sustain it? If so, the Warriors will be looking over their shoulders. 3. Raptors, 48-20, LW2. Toronto didn't pick up Marc Gasol expecting an eventual Serge Ibaka suspension, but it helps with Ibaka missing 3 games after throwing hands with Marquise Chris. This is not a team making a strong playoff push, 5-4 since the All-Star break, but it's hard to read them because Kawhi Leonard has gotten a lot of rest and because their playoff position has been essentially set. No. 2 seed, removing urgency in games. One thing to bet on, Pascal Siakam is going to win Most Improved Player. 4 Warriors, 45-21, LW3. For one game, against Denver on the night the Nuggets could have tied the Warriors with a win, we saw what the fully functional Death Star can do. It was awe-inspiring. Then the Warriors turned around and lost to the Suns. Expect to see Kevin Durant, Angle, and other key players rest down the stretch, and expect more erratic performances, but does anyone doubt they can play like the Death Star team 4 times in any 7-game series? 5. Nuggets, 44-22, LW4. Isaiah Thomas has struggled to fit in off the bench so far, which is why coach Mike Malone is shrinking his role in minutes. It got a DNP-CD on Tuesday. Through 9 games he's averaging 8.6 points a night but is shooting 27.3% from 3, where he takes 44% of his shot attempts, and even when he gets to the rim he's only finishing 50% of his attempts. Monty Morris bounced back with a good game against the Warriors, and coach Mike Malone will need to lean on him and not it when the playoffs start. 676ers, 43-25, LW5. Joel Embiid's return Sunday had Philadelphia looking like a team that could come out of the East again. He had 33 and 12 in a key win over the Pacers. He anchored their defense and bullied the Pacers in the paint on offense. The Sixers need that Embiid to be a real threat. Big test Sunday at Milwaukee, a chance for both teams to make a statement. They are contenders for the East crown. 7. Celtics, 41-27, LW11. They went a strong 3-1 on a West Coast road trip and looked like the team we expected coming into the season. Don't read into the loss to the Clippers. Last games of a trip get mailed in sometimes. Much like it has been recently in the regular season, Boston's chances in the playoffs will swing with how Gordon Hayward plays. When he scores in double digits off the bench, the Celtics become a much more dangerous team. 8. Thunder, 41-26, LW8. Russell Westbrook's interaction with a fan in Utah got the NBA community finally talking about an issue that needed to be in the spotlight. There are too many fans crossing the line of what is said to players, and there is little the players can do about it. Westbrook got fined for it, but my guess is he's good with that if it sparked a real discussion, which it did. The Thunder went 2-2 on their recent road trip and things do not get easier now. They have their next 6 games against playoff teams. 9. Trailblazers, 41-26, LW7. Coach Terry Stotts shot down a question about the playoffs, saying he is not thinking about matchups or seeding yet, but Portland wants to climb up to the 4 seed and have home court in the first round. They are tied with Oklahoma City for that spot as of this writing. Portland is 25-9 at home this season and 16-17 on the road. If they are going to advance past the first round, playing at home would be a big boost. 10. Clippers, 39-30, LW12. Wins over Boston and Oklahoma City recently show why this Clipper team is going to be a tough out in the playoffs. Spend time around the Clippers and you sense a confidence amongst this team despite all the roster changes this season. They like each other, they joke around in the locker room, and on the floor they know who they are and they play hard. Lou Williams is making a push for 6th Man of the Year with his play of late, but the loss to Portland shows just how much Danilo Gallinari's shooting and ability to create looks matters to this team. He rested that game. 11. Spurs, 39-29, LW13. Winners of 6 in a row, they needed that after a brutal rodeo road trip, and the streak has solidified their playoff position. The Spurs have done it with good defense, 105.1 net rating in this stretch, 6th best in the NBA, and enough offense from DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge to make it all work. They combined for 61 Tuesday night to beat the Mavs. 12. Pacers, 43-25, LW9. The Pacers need to play better. They have lost 6 of 9, if they are going to hold on to home court in the first round. The Pacers are tied with Philly for the 3/4 seed with Boston just 2 games back, but Indy has a brutal schedule coming up. Oklahoma City at home Thursday, then 6 of 7 on the road including the Nuggets, Clippers, Warriors, Thunder again, then Celtics. It's going to be tough to find wins in there. 13. Jazz, 37-29, LW10. With the softest remaining schedule in the NBA, it should have been time for Utah to make its push up the Western standings and maybe even get home court in the first round. Instead, they have lost 3 of 4, including to Memphis and New Orleans. More concerning, Julius Randle and Jonas Valanciunas have punished the Jazz in the paint. Utah is still in the playoffs as the 8th seed, but their lack of focus against teams they should beat is going to have them starting the playoffs on the road. 14. Nets, 36-33, LW15. Winners of 4 in a row, the last one against Detroit to keep them ahead of the Pistons and in the 6th seed. Spencer Dinwiddie had 19 against Detroit, continuing his run of good play. He is going to get some 6th Man of the Year votes. But now the Pacers have 7 in a row on the road and every one of their remaining games this season except one, Lakers, is against a team over .500. 15. Pistons, 34-32, LW14. Detroit has leaned a little too much on fourth-quarter comebacks lately, but they had won 8 of 9 before the loss to the Nets Monday. Still, because of the Nets' schedule, expect the Pistons to finish the season as the 6th seed in the East. Give Coach Dwayne Casey credit for pulling this team together in his first season in Detroit, finding an offense that works, and getting this team into the postseason. 16. Kings, 33-33, LW16. The Kings have had the most surprising season in the NBA, and that will mean Coach of the Year votes for Dave Joerger and Most Improved Player votes for De'Aaron Fox. Both well-deserved, although neither are likely to win the award. However, the surprising season is not going to end with a playoff berth. The Kings are 4 out with 16 games to play. The key this offseason is to stick with the building plan and not to become impatient and make win-now moves. 17. Heat, 31-35, LW21. Miami's new starting lineup, Justice Winslow, Bam Adebayo, Josh Richardson, Dion Waiters, and Kelly Olynyk, has led the team to win 4 of 5 and hang on to the final playoff slot in the East. In the 7 games they have started, 91 total minutes, that lineup is 7.1 per 100 possessions, with a high-powered offense leading the way. Miami has a tougher schedule than Orlando, 1 game back, and Charlotte 1.5 back the rest of the way, and will need more out of that lineup if the Heat are going to get an invite to the postseason dance. 18. Timberwolves, 32-36, LW 20. Karl Anthony Towns continues to be on a tear. In his last 10 games he's averaging 32.9 points per game on 59.6% shooting overall, 48.3% from 3, on 5.8 attempts a game, plus grabbing 12.8 boards a night. Is that going to be enough to get him an All-NBA center spot in a crowded field? Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Rudy Gobert, Anthony Davis? If he does, it's worth a cool $32 million on his rookie contract extension that kicks in next season, thanks to the Rose Rule. 19. Magic, 31-37, LW 17. Playoff teams take care of business against lesser opponents, which is why the Magic are in danger of missing the postseason after their big push to get back in it. Orlando has lost 3 of 4, including with the Cavaliers and Grizzlies. The Magic struggle in tight games, which is part of the problem. I'd say they have a soft section of the schedule ahead, but that doesn't seem to matter to Orlando. They just need wins. 20. Pelicans, 30-40, LW 18. Drew Holiday being out is a big blow. He has been playing at a near All-NBA level and off the court has become more of the face of the franchise, after the Anthony Davis situation. Rookie guard Frank Jackson has stepped up with some strong games in Holiday's absence, which is about all there is to root for if you're a Pelicans fan. 21. Hornets, 30-37, LW 19. The Vultures are circling. Needing to make a playoff push, the Hornets have instead lost 7 of 9, and now the rumors about Kemba Walker being unhappy and wanting out are growing louder. I had heard from sources right after the trade deadline he was frustrated the team didn't make a move. Charlotte plays Miami on Sunday, one of the teams they are battling with for the last playoff slot in the East. They need that win. 22. Grizzlies, 28-40, LW 24. Memphis' first-round pick this year is top 8 protected, and considering it's a softer draft, and the Grizzlies are just starting their rebuild, they wouldn't mind letting Boston have it this year, and keeping it in the future. That means winning more now, and the Grizzlies have done just that, with victories in 5 of 7, thanks to the best defense in the league in that stretch, a 100.3 net rating. Currently, they have the 7th worst record in the league, 85.8% chance they keep the pick but keep winning, and the odds Boston gets it climb fast. 23. Wizards, 28-39, LW 23. Washington's playoff chances are not dead. It is 3.5 games out of the final playoff spot, Miami, but they have a 10% chance of making up that ground and getting in, according to 538.com. That makes Wednesday's game against Orlando and Friday against Charlotte critical. All 3 of those teams are in the same playoff chase. A couple of wins there and the Wizards' chances get much more realistic. Lose both and they can book the hotel in Cabo for mid-April. 24. Lakers, 31-36, LW 22. Luke Walton is going to take the fall for this Lakers season, which is not completely fair because the roster he was given to work with by management was flawed and needed perfect health and some breaks to make the playoffs. That didn't happen. Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball are shut down for the season now. The question becomes, where do the Lakers get their next coach? Who can they get that LeBron James will respect and buy into? There is not an obvious upgrade just sitting on the open market, but this will be the first big test for management in a summer it has to nail. 25. Hawks, 23-45, LW 25. Here's what should have Atlanta fans pumped about the future. In their last 10 games, the Hawks are 5.9 points per 100 when Trae Young and John Collins are on the court together. That pair is the cornerstone of the future for the Hawks, and it's looking promising. In the loss to the Nets last weekend, Young had his first triple-double and Collins added 33 points and 20 rebounds in the game. The Hawks are going to take a step forward next season, just watch. 26 Mavericks, 27-40, LW 26. The long season seems to be catching up with Luka Doncic. In his last 5 games he's still averaging 20.4 points per game, but he's shooting just 27.8% from 3 and 37.5% overall. Against San Antonio Tuesday he had his worst game of the season, 5 of 18 shooting, 1 of 7 from 3, and even 1 of 9 from the free throw line. What you had to like is the frustrated Doncic went in and worked on his game immediately after that showing, vowing it would not happen again. 27. Suns, 16-52, LW 29. The Suns are not taking for Zion, they have won 5 of 7 and that includes beating the Warriors and the Bucks. The biggest key is that Kelly Oubre has been a fit, and averaged 18.9 points a game since put in the starting lineup, providing another shot creation and scoring option for Phoenix. 28. Bulls, 19-50, LW 27. What has Zach LaVine done to step up his game this season? Get to the rim. Before his injury, his 3 seasons in Minnesota, LaVine took 33% to 35% of his shots at the rim, but this season that is up to 49%, stats via cleaning the glass. He's got work to do, particularly on the defensive end, but he's taking steps in the right direction. While have been fans and pundits calling for him to shut it down, it speaks to his makeup and desire that he wants to play and wants to win with his teammates, not just sit back and wait until he gets paid. With him, and particularly how Zion improves their defense, the Blue Devils have real shot to win it all. What, you want to talk about the Knicks? Come on.